But first, we start with the morning brief, and continued focus on hiring is what Myles wrote about. Not just how many open spots they are, but how eager companies are to fill them. And that's something you wrote about, the sort of urgency factor, Myles, to trying to get these spots filled as quickly as possible.
Yeah, some cool data comes to us from the team over at Indeed, Jed Kolko and the fine folks over there. And they track a variety of indicators on their site. So Indeed, of course, the job posting platform, giving them just a great look into what's happening in the labor market. And they found that over the last couple of months, we've seen a 50% increase in the number of employers, or prospective employers, number of folks who are hiring, saying that they are urgently hiring or using language to that effect, essentially telling those who are job seeking that this is a job they're hoping to fill quickly. Now, that's, of course, not the first thing you'd like to do as a hiring manager. Of course, it's a negotiation of sorts. You don't want to begin the negotiation by saying, I'm desperate to close this deal. That's not really, a winning strategy. And, Rick Newman's going to stop by in a bit. I know he is well versed in the art of the deal, and maybe he can tell us a bit about that. But, as we note, let's be fair. This is the vast minority of job postings on Indeed include this urgent language. So it's not like half the listings now are saying they're hiring urgently, but there is definitely a sense of angst among hiring managers out there. Another piece of data, 36.5% of job listings, or 36.5% is the increase in job listings, and 4.3% of listings now on Indeed's site are advertising an incentive. So that might be a $1,000 sign-on bonus. That might be some kind of a referral bonus. That might be an increase in, I don't know, if you discounted food at Chipotle, something to that effect. Of course, Chipotle has very much outlined their own policies, but you know what we're saying, right? Something above and beyond. Here you get to have this job and you can show up every day and then we'll pay you for the work you do, right? An incentive on top of, being accepted and taking this position. And so we just start to see all these little gears in the labor market turn, and we continue, again, to see the labor market act a lot more like a late cycle, like a 2018, a 2019 type market, rather than an early cycle. There is too much supply of labor out there. Obviously very different than washing machines, but makes me think of Mark Bitzer's comments, Whirlpool CEO we just talked to earlier in the program, saying that, everything that corporate America has kind of learned. Oh, well, there's going to be too much stuff, too many workers, too many goods, and you have to convince people to buy it, to work for you. That's kind of the exact opposite of the situation we find ourselves in across a variety of sectors in the economy.
Myles, you think this is as good as it gets if you are out there searching for a job? I've already seen murmurs on the street, economists calling this out, that companies are now looking to trim staff or pull back a little bit on hiring because of the inflation they're seeing.
I wouldn't call the top in it's a good time to be a job seeker, mostly just because I think that we've had that conversation now for quite a while. Go back to last fall, right? We're going to have the end of some of those unemployment benefits when it was unclear if there'd be additional stimulus packages passed. And you might have said, well, September 2020, that's it. You got to go get a job. Well, here we are sitting in July 2021. Okay, fine. Those unemployment benefits are going to run out at the end of September. But how clear is it that those benefits are creating this crush of folks trying to get back in the labor market? How clear is it that, let's say an employer who was offering $12 an hour wants to pay 10 is going to be able to hire at 10 in a couple months' time? I don't exactly see that. Now, granted, on the corporate side, maybe things can be a little bit more fine-tuned, but I don't think the dynamism in the labor market, which is essentially what that's speaking towards, has shown any signs of slowing down.
I mean, sort of to Sazi's point, though, an interesting anecdote that I was just hearing from a friend of mine is her teenage son has been trying to get a minimum wage job. And despite all of those signs that you see on windows that they need people, he hasn't been able to get one. And she said in part it's because maybe the local manager isn't empowered to hire without the okay from national. And maybe national likes not paying as many people and says, you know what, you just got to deal with it, despite the sort of performative signs on the windows. But I don't know. We'll have to get more data to sort of back that up, that one anecdote.